charged. Let's welcome in former NYPD detective Michael Sapraicone. A heavy day, obviously, Michael, for law enforcement officers across the country. Your reaction to this, as again, President Trump attending that wake. I know you're close with the former president, and just a tough day for so many in the law enforcement community.
Well, thanks, Jen, and thanks, Logan, for having me here. It is a tough day. It's always a tough day when we lose an officer. I mean, I came on the police department in 1980 and retired in 2000. But I remember the early 80s. I attended 3 funerals in the beginning of the 80s of 3 officers. Irma Lozada, who was the first female officer killed in the country. And it's amazing to see. President Trump was always supportive of the police departments throughout the country, and especially in New York, where he grew up. And he was always there and always financially supported the widows and orphans funds. And he continues to do this. And it's so great to see him be there today with all our men and women in blue and to support Officer Dilla's family.
And Michael, the gunman identified as 34-year-old Guy Rivera, a career criminal with 21 prior arrests. Now, do you think that the bail reform situation in New York has gotten out of control? And we're hearing stories, too, about women being attacked on the streets of Manhattan. Your thoughts on the bail reform situation and how that's impacting crime?
It's just been getting worse and worse. And this is just going to continue to go on until we make some changes, until we get to the ballot box and make changes. People think that the police make the laws and make the rules. We don't. The legislators do. The people we vote for do. 21 arrests. As of last April, he was arrested and charged with a gun possession and is back out in the street. And the other person, the driver of the car, who was just charged today, I believe, with murder 1, is just as guilty as the person who pulled the trigger. And he had 14 prior arrests, and did time for homicide. So when are we going to stop this silliness where we're just allowing people to defund and take money away from the police departments? Yet they have protection. They have protection details. And here we're looking at a young man, 31 years of age, whose life was taken away Monday night over a traffic stop, a simple traffic stop. People don't realize every single thing you do as a police officer in this country always puts you at risk not to go home to your families. And it's pathetic that these politicians and the far left call for this. Look at what's going on today. President Trump is attending this funeral, this wake this afternoon, and in Manhattan, 30 miles away, Obama, Clinton, and Biden are having a fundraiser tonight. And why aren't they here? This isn't a political thing. This isn't conservative or Republican or Democrat. This is American. Okay, this is the people who support us and save our lives and protect us every day. And we need to speak up about that. And I'm passionate about it because I did it for 20 years. And in my business, I employed all retired and active police officers. But what these men and women do for us every day, we don't see half the time. We don't even understand how safe we are because of the things they do every day. And that needs to be acknowledged, and people need to understand that, especially the politicians who are setting the bail reform laws and allowing these things to happen. This is just irresponsibility. These men should never have been out of jail. You look at our state since 2017, the governor and the state has allowed 41 cop killers to get on parole, to leave prison and go out on parole by the parole board. It's unacceptable. It's inexcusable. It's the wrong thing to do.
Well said, Michael. You see the statements issued from the White House, from the briefing room podium, from Governor Hochul, these cold statements, thoughts and prayers. Our thoughts are with the family. And again, where are the actions behind their words? As you mentioned, you see Biden in town for this supposedly what's going to be a record-breaking fundraiser. It's star-studded event at Radio City Music Hall. And yet here's President Trump, who's facing, all this lawfare that he's dealing with on his own time as he's trying to campaign, but takes the time to come to this wake for this fallen officer, a president that has received a lot of support from police unions. And I was reading stories surrounding the death of this officer, and one of his neighbors, one of Jonathan Diller's neighbors, says that Kathy Hochul has blood on her hand, as well as the DAs of New York. Your thoughts on this? Again, the recidivism that we've seen in this city, especially. Again, a death that did not have to happen had this man been enforcement still locked up. What more can be done to support our police and to keep these terrible people off our streets?
Well, recidivism is unbelievable. Mayor Adams, and we don't always agree on things, but he mentioned the other day on Monday evening how this is a crime of recidivism. This just keeps occurring and occurring. We're not doing anything. You know, cops are out there working hard only to see these people released within a day or back on the street within a few months. It has to stop. We have to start looking at what we did in the 90s with Commissioner Braden, where we looked at quality of life. And that's where it begins. We start with quality of life crimes, and we work on that, and we build that up, and we build that up, and we're cutting the recidivists down. People, you know, you have a small amount of people that are the same people committing these crimes. And if you keep allowing them to be back on the streets, they will keep committing these crimes and recruit other bad actors to do the same thing. We need to step up what we do in government. We need to put the right people in office. And listen, President Trump is being beat up every day, but he cares. He cares about law enforcement, he cares about Americans, and he cares about our country. And he found the time today to come and pay his respects. That's all you could ask of him or anybody. We're hurt. New York City is hurting. This country is hurting. We need to step up and do the right thing, and we don't do that enough. We need to start caring again, and we've lost that. In the last 3.5 years, we've lost the way we care for law enforcement and the way we care for Americans. We need to get back on the right track.
Well, Michael Sapraicone, appreciate you being here today. I know you're running for Senate and you have Trump's endorsement. Appreciate your service in law enforcement, sir, and thank you for taking time to be with us today.
Well, thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. And Logan, thank you very much. And, you know, God bless America. And it's such a sad day for this family. And this is something that never goes away. It will never go away. So thank you.
Indeed.
Michael, thank you for being here to discuss.